Guys, I just got done watching Chapter 1 of Transformers War for Cybertron, and wow, guys, I have to say that this is actually the first Transformers animated series since the end of Transformers, the Armada Energon and Cybertron trilogy that I absolutely loved. So guys, here's how everything goes down. It starts with Bumblebee basically just being this scavenger trying to survive on Cybertron through a war-torn world. And he's caught up yet again in sort of like the first battle between Megatron and Optimus. And what's interesting about Bumblebee's character is he is really just a neutral type of guy. Like Megatron and Starscream both call him an Autobot, and Bumblebee says multiple times throughout Chapter 1, I am not an Autobot, and I don't want to be a part of your war. But getting back to Optimus and Megatron for a second, guys. Contrary to what most Transformers fans may be used to, Optimus and Megatron both are still on the opposing side, but instead, they almost kind of treat each other like sort of estranged brothers. But now that they were both once under the mentorship of Eva Trident, and I probably just butchered Alpha's name, but anyway, guys, that they were both under the guidance of Alphatron, and basically, guys, Optimus and Ultra Magnus decided to follow Alpha's teachings to the letter, but so basically the whole thing that starts the conflict between the Autobot and the Decepticon factions is Optimus, even against the advice of Ultra Magnus, which we'll get more into what Ultra Magnus's role in Chapter 1 is in just a second, but against even the advice of Ultra Magnus, Optimus's former military commander, Megatron has proposed a treaty to end the war against the two sides, but Optimus refuses to give in to Megatron's treaty solution because he knows that Megatron will just push Cybertron further into his service, and again kind of like the cool thing about War for Cybertron so far is, like, Megatron and the Decepticons say multiple times that they were sent down to work in the energon mines while the Autobots just got to do whatever they wanted. And so it's almost like for the first time ever, Megatron and the Decepticons are saying to Optimus and the rest of the Autobots, we were slaves, and you guys were chosen to sit on Ultra Triad's throne with them like kings, while we were thrown to the slaughter. And that's another thing about Cybertron's state throughout this chapter. I mean, guys, if you want a truly animated portrayal of what true war can look like, look no further than Transformers War for Cybertron Chapter 1, because both the Autobots defenses and Megatron's Decepticon territory are both well established. In fact, Wheeljack and Bumblebee in the first episode are trying to collect Energon, or are trying to find Energon for Wheeljack when they get cornered by Starscream and Jetfire, who will actually at the end of chapter 1, Wheeljack, along with another Decepticon named Impactor, will ultimately choose to Jetfire chooses to join the Autobots after Megatron's ultimate plan to destroy the Autobots with a little help from his mad scientist Decepticon Shockwave, enacts a plan to use Ultra Magnus's corpse to project a virus that will basically wipe out every piece of Autobot technology, including the Alpha Triad code that Ultra Magnus passed to Bumblebee after he was killed by Megatron and the rest of the Decepticons after being tortured for not revealing the location of the Autobots hideout, and even after trying to convince Megatron that maybe if Megatron, Optimus, and Magnus could all three sit down like the old days, maybe peace actually could be achieved. But like I said, before Ultra Magnus is dealt the final blow by Megatron, he is brutally electrocuted by Shockwave because he will not betray his best soldier or his fellow Autobots by revealing their location. Now after Bumblebee is given Alpha Triad's code, he now has the vast knowledge of many years of Autobot and just Cybertron history, and basically everybody, Megatron comes up with a plan to locate the ancient and mythical Allspark, which hasn't been seen in over 1 million years. And the catch is, if the Allspark is taken off Cybertron in this continuity of the series, Cybertron will basically be reduced to nothing, because the Allspark is the source of Cybertron's ability to function. And Shockwave's first plan is to basically reprogram all of the Autobots, so they'll have no other choice but to follow Megatron willingly. And Megatron ultimately refuses that idea because that plan's not honorable. In fact, that's another thing about Optimus and Megatron throughout most of Chapter 1 of War for Cybertron. While it's clear that Megatron will do anything to achieve his version of what a unified Cybertron and till we were all one philosophy, they both say that they will not do multiple things because it isn't the honorable thing to do. So eventually, after Optimus almost sort of becomes possessed by the desire to somehow end the war and actually not act like the Optimus that you know, his sort of love interest, but at the same time, I hope not, Alita 1 tells him, you're not considering the safety of everybody else. And then all Optimus can eventually say is, I'm asking you to trust me. But Optimus finally does come to the has the moment where he does in fact realize that maybe his unwillingness to not surrender, but to try and work things out with Megatron, like Alpha Triad taught them both. That's what actually caused the war. And even when Bumblebee still has the Alpha Triad code before it's taken away by Shockwave's virus, he actually has a celestial plane meeting with the big boy himself, and Alpha basically does explain to Bumblebee that Optimus has some growing to do, so keep an eye on him. then the plan is sort of made to that 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 Optimus and the rest of the team, again at this point, with a little help from Impactor, a sort of a reformed Jetfire, and a resistant Hatchet. The plan is made that Jetfire will lead Optimus to the true location of the Allspark, because right before Ultra Magnus dies, he actually takes Megatron, Starscream, and the rest of the Decepticons air unit known as the Seekers to Alpha Triad's memorial, which he has lied to them and said that is the location of the Autobot base. And I forgot what I was gonna say. As for repentance, and because of Jetfire's betrayal against Megatron, Starscream achieves his ultimate goal, which is to not overthrow Megatron yet, at least, but to become leader of the Seekers. And it's after, even though Shockwave's virus has left all of Cybertron basically powerless, and many more deaths have happened, including Almost Mirage, Impactor, Ultra Magnus, among so many others, that the Allspark finally reveals itself to both Optimus and Megatron, and before the right before the rest of the Autobots managed to escape to the space bridge to get to Earth, where the Allspark headed. The Omega Supreme, one of the legendary guardians of Cybertron, finally answers Optimus' plea to actually get involved in the war, and that buys Wheeljack enough time to get some of their newly acquired energon that they got courtesy of a Soundwave ripoff sound blaster with a little bit of help of Bumblebee's survival and trading skills. Optimus has to leave a Leader 1 behind, but it's thanks to everybody's efforts that the Allspark is safe, and that with a Leader 1 and the Jetfire, as well as some other members of the Autobot team staying behind. at least Cybertron, even though by now it is unfortunately pretty decimated, at least survived the Allspark's expulsion. And guys, yes, this series is actually not. It is dark in terms of the amount of death, but personally for me, I could really have seen Cybertron. I mean, Transformers War for Cybertron. If it was ever given the opportunity, I could see this potentially airing uh, uh on Cartoon Network during Toonami, because yes, this chapter 1 does have some pretty dark moments, but 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 it is actually a, a lot less violent than it could be. But overall, guys, I cannot wait for chapter 2 Earth to be released, and then chapter 3 will be known as Kingdom. But I just gotta say, Has Hasbro, Rooster Teeth, and Netflix, I could kiss you guys right now for finally giving us the green light to finally enjoy this sixth episode chapter of, yes, I guess you could say one thing, guys. Megatron didn't unify Cybertron and make everybody as one. He practically decimated Cybertron, and the very reason why Jetfire refused to participate in Megatron's war any longer. He decimated so many innocent lives that didn't have to be, if he was willing to just come to a more peaceful agreement and remember what Alpha Triad taught him. Now I will say, in Bumblebee's case, in one episode, both sides are desperately looking for Energon that was supposed to be at one location, but now has gone missing. And at the end of the episode, it is revealed that Bumblebee is the one that actually found the Energon, which and the description of Bumblebee's role in Chapter 1 Siege is real, because even after receiving the Cybertron history code from Ultra Magnus, and even after becoming more cooperative with Optimus and the rest of the Autobots, it is still not made quite so clear what Bumblebee's intentions are going to be with the team once that they do reach Earth in Chapter 2. My only couple of complaints with the series, guys, with Chapter 1, I mean, so far, are Adida 1, because it it is a good thing that she sort of questions Optimus's choices at times, because again, let's remember, Optimus was willing to do anything to just end the battle, regardless of how many casualties it cost, is something that it's just not like him at all. But let's also remember, Optimus has seen numerous fellow Autobots and just fellow cybertronians and 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 artificial beings die, all because of the senseless war. So even though this is Optimus, perhaps in the youngest interpretation that we've seen him, I at least do agree that in this younger, at least starting point of Optimus's leadership role, even though yes, when it comes down to it, he made sure that the Allspark didn't get into Megatron's hands. Just overall, some of his leadership qualities were put into question because uh, 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 Optimus's defense, when anybody, including Adita, whenever they would try and say that, Optimus' choices are questionable, he said, please just have faith in me. Even though my actions may have caused this war, just like Megatron is in his own genocide way, I'm still trying to fight for what I believe in, and maybe one day we can get Cybertron back to the way that Ultra Magnus and Alpha Triad knew it as. But again, guys, Adina sort of like over almost secondary leadership of the team got on my nerves, and also, even though this is just nitpicking, people were saying in some of the earlier reviews that Soundwave's voice sounds almost identical to the '84 cartoon, which out of everybody, and that Soundwave's voice sounds like one of those Soundwave just sounds off. I mean, he does still act like Soundwave and still have and he still acts like Soundwave, but his voice is probably my least favorite. But guys, the voice actor's portrayal, other than Soundwave, and maybe Bumblebee, I would have liked Bumblebee to have sort of like a bit of a younger sounding voice, and maybe kind of a more laid back one, kind of like how Hotshot used to be, but just overall, guys, even though I think that Soundwave's voice acting was a little voice rather what was a little kind of on the weird side, I have to say. all of the voice actors did a phenomenal job of bringing Optimus and Megatron and all of the Autobots and most of the Decepticons. That's right, I'm looking at you, Soundwave. Back to life in a way that, again, I haven't enjoyed since the end of the Armada, Energon, and Cybertron trilogy. This felt like truly just the kind of good 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 cartoon storytelling that I honestly do miss. And guys, probably just like a lot of you, I wish that Chapter 1, Siege, and hopefully Chapter 2 and 3, Earth and Kingdom respectively, will be more than just 6 episodes. But I have to give the team credit for this. It may only be 6 episodes, but by that 6th and final ending of Chapter 1, I mean just the level of how the desperation is for Wheeljack to get the Autobots ship basically back in the air so he can get into the space bridge and follow the Allspark, and just Megatron saying prior in episode 5, get every division and every single Decepticon that we have available and ready to end the Autobot resistance while I go charge myself up. That the ending of War for Cybertron Chapter 1, that to me is how you end the first part of an overarching story, because again, Cybertron did survive, but it's going to take a lot of healing in order for it to reach Alpha Triads, Ultra Magnuses, and as well as Optimus' vision of a true Cybertron where we are all one. And it is very clear that the battle between the Autobots, the Decepticons, and even in Kingdom, I believe, it has been announced that the Predacons will make their debut, is far from over. But for now, thank you, Optimus, and rest in peace, Alpha Trion, Impactor, Ultra Magnus, and all Autobots and Decepticons, except for Stars, the one Decepticon seeker that Jetfire killed before he made the decision to try and join Optimus and the rest of the team. Oh, and one more thing on Starscream. His main goal in Chapter 1 is just to become the leader of Megatron's air forces. And it is really Shockwave that plays the role of Megatron's evil number 2 henchman. Although I have a feeling with chapters 2 and 3 that 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 we will see Starscream up up to his same old tricks of wanting to secretly overthrow Megatron while at the same time playing double agent and also being like a loyal teacher's pet. But again, guys, I would definitely recommend that you check out War for Cybertron. Chapter 1, Siege. All I can say to you is, you did it. Thank you. And let's all hope that we won't have to wait very long for chapters 2 and 3. And then who knows what could lie beyond that for this rebirth of Transformers animated universe. Because, you guys, I have a feeling that the best is ahead. Check out Transformers War for Cybertron. Rest in peace, Ultra Magnus.